Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Kagekaze's Domain. This is Diablo 3. We're still in beta, and this is patch 18. Now, last time I played a video, you may have noticed that it was patch 16. So you might be asking, well, what happened to 17, and what's new with 18? Well, 17 was the patch that tied in your Battle.net accounts and allowed the use of the Battletags. As I was talking about before in the previous video here, it looks like they're going to go the route of using battle tags as a substitute for real ID for people that don't want to be giving out their Battle.net login information, such as your Battle.net email or your real name. So that's kind of cool to see that battle tags will be introduced. They haven't been put into WoW yet. They are experimenting with it with the Mists of Pandaria beta. It looks like WoW can see you when you use your battle tag, but WoW players can't add you with the battle tag yet. They can only do real IDs. So it'll be a bit, but they're going to implement that, it looks like. So eventually in WoW you'll be able to see where you can add somebody just by using their battle tags. So, wow, beta weekend. You know, I honestly didn't even try to log in. Let me get in here. I honestly didn't even try to log in. I had some stuff going on my end, and it wasn't really because of the open weekend. I honestly had some stuff going on here personally. It's part of the reason why the videos have been slowing down a bit. For anyone who's interested, it's mainly because my work schedule has shifted on me. Instead of working nights, I'm working days, which of course consequently means I'm just a little bit more tired than usual and pretty much have a lot on my plate at that point. And I'm going to try and pick the pace back up. I'm still catching up just a bit, not much. And by that I mean the Witch Doctor video for the reveal site is up at IGN. The reveal site has not been updated to the Witch Doctor yet. It will be by the end of today that I'm recording this video. So that's good. Witch Doctor, of course, means that that will be the next class that I play through. So, if you're new here, this is my playthroughs of the beta, where I'm going to give you my impressions of classes as I play through them, and of course, discussing skills, the game in general. And it's a fun time to be had. Since a lot of people are coming off the open beta, you know, there may be a lot of questions, and so everybody knows I'm not adverse to answering questions. You can probably look through my old videos to see where I have tried to answer questions people have had of me if they were in my power to answer. And if I don't know, I try to give resources where you might be able to find the answer yourself. So I hope you all enjoyed your beta weekend. From what I've seen, it had both good and bad impressions for some people. Some people ended up liking the game where they weren't sure they would. And others disliking it, but you know, hey, that's the way it works. But I was glad to see a generally positive response. Some people very upset that they couldn't get in at all. Of course, you have to keep in mind that this is a true beta test. A lot of companies like to put out what they call a beta, and that beta is actually nothing more than a glorified demo.
That's one of the wretched mothers. There are more of them in the ruins down the road.
Alright, well, since I've gathered a level here, let's go ahead and very quickly go over what I've got. We start, as usual, with Fist of Thunder. You gain 6 spirit per attack. Now, I saw something somewhere that suggested that Monk's resources were going to only generate 1 spirit per attack. I'm not exactly sure what caused that. That was, I think, a data mining error or possibly a patch error at one point, because we had patch 17 and now we're on to 18. 18 was honestly just a bug fix patch. I could not really even find anything there worth really talking about. So alright, this is the 110% weapon damage as lightning attack. Every third hit deals a knockback to all enemies in front of you. And it generates spirit faster than other spirit spending skills due to the high attack speed. I have honestly not yet been able to really go into that to really see how different it is. I would like to. Last time I started Monk, he did a character wipe on me. Great, huh? It's alright. Hopefully we will get further this time. Now this wonderful finishing move that you see me pulling off here, as many of you already know, is Lashing Tail Kick. This will cost me 30 of the spirit I've generated through my Fists of Thunder attack. It's a deadly roundhouse that knocks enemies back and deals 200% weapon damage. Boom, 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 boom. Monk is one of my favorite classes, honestly. Part of it has to do with, I think, the 3-hit combo system that he uses. I was honestly a big fan of assassins, combat assassins in Diablo 2, where you would basically perform an attack 3 times and get 3 of these globes circling around you. Now, unlike the monk in this one, all 3 attacks were the same. You basically were doing normal attacks just to get these globes to circle you, which represented combo points, which would eventually be used in the systems for, say, the Rogue for World of Warcraft. That's pretty much what they were combo points. Except for, unlike Rogues in World of Warcraft, you could swap targets with those so-called combo points. So you could gather, 3 or more off of various monsters. To gather more than 3, you pretty much had to swap skills. So you'd use 3 of one ability, then 3 of another, and then quickly use a finishing move in order to utilize the power that you've gained up across the different combos. It was a really cool system. A bit hard to play off for unless you really knew what you were doing. At least I would say for new players, it was probably not that easy to do. I had some limited success with it. I honestly played more of a trap assassin, so unfortunately didn't get into it too much. Who knows? Maybe I will again later. I've got Diablo 2. Can always go download it and play it again. But this is kind of the trappings of that, where you get that 3rd attack and you get something special, like a finishing move of its own, honestly. And I kind of like that. That's a really cool system to me. Just being able to have different attacks every so often. Not only that, but what I really like about the monk is the finesse. Monks focus more on mobility, moving around, doing damage, and either getting away or knocking things back and making battle work for you, as I call the flow of combat. Combat flow is very important for mobility classes like the monk and the demon hunter. Now, that's not to say that you couldn't put together a very good damage build and not have to worry about moving around at all. You very well could. But I, for one, like the mobility. But hey, if you want to make your monk a tank, by all means, please feel free to do so. You have plenty of options. There are lots of defensive skills out there for the monk, increasing his dodge, his chance to survive in general, which are absolutely amazing.
Guitar has raised me to new heights.
Well, it looks like I'm going to go ahead and move away from my Fist of Thunder and move on to Deadly Reach, the second of the 4 spirit generators here. Deadly Reach is 6 per attack, much like Fist of Thunder. And as you can see, Pure Lines of Force do 110% weapon damage, much like Fist of Thunder, except for these extend out 25 yards. I'm essentially trading in speed for range. I personally like the gameplay of this, although I can always change it up. Thankfully, the skill system allows you to do that if I ever wanted to just make a quick build with Fist of Thunder. It all depends on the runes and how I like them when I eventually play through the game. Speaking of eventually playing through the game, I did want to go ahead and kind of give you guys an idea, maybe a little insight into what I'm expecting to do here. When the game comes out, I have a streaming channel now on Twitch TV. And it's much like my YouTube channel. It's going to be just Twitch TV/RuRoniKage. So just use the same username I use here for that. And what I'm thinking of is the first time through, I was really debating on what I wanted to do. Should I record and kind of record my reactions as I go on a YouTube video? It would be kind of tough because I don't have a lot of hard drive space. And even if I got another hard drive, I could only get so far, then I'd have to encode the video, and upload and then eventually delete the items off my hard drive so I can continue to record. And I was thinking, honestly, when I play through the game the first time, I am going to just really want to explore, play around, and just kind of have fun with it. Not that I don't have fun with these videos, I can, but some of the things I do and look at may not entirely be interesting to watch. Just because I'll be out exploring and just kind of seeing what this engine can do. But what I've decided to do, for those of you, this might be more for those of you who don't go to a midnight release or anything like that, but on the 15th, when the game comes out, I'm going to go ahead and turn on this live stream I have at Twitch TV, and I will go ahead and just kind of record your live stream as I play, and I will keep the chat up on a second window so that I can, if anyone wants to talk to me and ask me questions about the game, they can, and I'll just keep it up and try and answer as I see them. But I think what I'm going to do is it's kind of a compromise for me. So I will basically be able to go through, play the game kind of how I want to, and if anyone's really interested in watching, they can. I'm not expecting a lot of people to come on because most of you will be going to midnight releases, I'm sure, and playing the game. But you never know. And I've also heard that some people might like to go ahead and put on a stream while they're playing the game as well, just to get a different perspective on it while they play. So this kind of puts me in competition with Diablo fans, I hate to say. They are doing a launch day stream as well. They have been testing the waters out recently on Twitch TV. If you're interested, I recommend going to Diablo fans. They've got a post in the general chat. And check it out. Who knows? Maybe you might want to check those guys out. They're very knowledgeable, honestly. They've got some people there that know the lore and can really answer some of the more in-depth questions I probably might not be able to. So, give them a shot. Alright, in the meantime, let's see what I've got. A 5.8 is my highest. 4.2 and a 3.2. And what have I got on my main? 5.6. So this is definitely more DPS. More maximum damage, same attack speed. I will take it. And because they're so close, I could dual wield, so 6.9 turns into 7.8. Very good. Let's go ahead and do it. Get rid of those, and that. And even that.
The ruins of old Tristram. The shadow of Diablo still hangs over that place.
New armor. Looks good. Alright, for those of you wondering, this is my first time logging in since the patches, honestly. The reason why I have some achievements and gold and whatnot is I got on and played a tiny bit with someone that was online and just made a newbie demon hunter and went around for a bit. Also helped the game to load resources, so there's not as much slowdown at the beginning here as you've noticed. Of course, that could also be partially from patches, because when I hopped in there wasn't a lot of slowdown. But I wasn't recording at the same time, so who knows? Could have been either one. They will be working on optimization at this point, I'm sure, as that's usually one of the last things that gets taken care of in any game development cycle. Much like balancing skills, as that's usually one of the final things, because balancing skills when you're still dealing with bugs and new gameplay mechanics is usually a bad idea. A lot of extra work.
The rumors of torture and worse grow every day. What has happened to Tristram and its king? I once thought Leoric a great man, but it seems I was deceived. We all were. He sends our meager army against Westmarch on the morrow. What will become of us?
Alright, Anvil of Fury, do you have anything for me? Nothing. I am disappointed. I miss Griswold's Edge. I don't know why they removed it. I mean, from the beta I could have understood, but from the game in general, which they have stated they did. Oh well. Let's go get a new journal for some experience.
It's a shame that bard got himself in.
What are we doing in my room? A miracle has happened. A hero.
So I'm thinking more and more I'm really going to have to do some kind of primer for newbies. Since the open beta happened, I have been inundated with a bunch of questions, and which is a good thing. I actually kind of like answering questions. But some of which, you know, I've seen answered in other formats, and some were honestly questions I was not expecting about the general game, how to play, how things work. You know, so honestly, what that tells me is there's a lot of people that are new to this whole point-and-click adventure thing, point-and-click action RPG, who may not exactly be sure how does this, you know, strange new thing work. Now, honestly, a lot of us probably take for granted that we've played this for so long. And it seems so easy to us. Well, we spent, you know, what, months, years playing this game. Alright, back off, Dalton. That worked out really well. Let's avoid the frozen globes. I'm just going to play keep away with him. Use my deadly reach. And they missed. He apparently has to stop when he gets knocked back for a moment. That's probably just the AI for normal difficulty and being this early in the game.
Here's the key.
To be expected.
Last night, I suspected what was
yes, magic fine pants. I will take
I
that.
consoled him as best I could. Regardless, wherever.
Okay. Alright, new defensive skill, Blinding Flash, 10 Spirit, 15-second cooldown. Flash of light that blinds all opponents within 20 yards for 3 seconds. Elite enemies will recover faster, but suffer a 30% chance to miss with attacks. This is my boomst. Oh, wait, sorry, nope. This is a very nice ability. Amazing utility. The fact that it does not break on damage is really what makes it shine. This was something they removed from the old version of the beta. It used to break on damage, but it used to stun for a lot longer. But honestly, that's nothing. You break it on damage, and seriously, then it just pretty much is useless. So, what I like about Blinding Flash. The reason why I like this skill and why I like the monk is that it compensates for not being able to blind elite monsters, champions or rares or bosses by giving a secondary effect. And unfortunately, not all skills do this for all classes. I cite you the example of Hex for the Witch Doctor. It has no secondary ability that would cause me to ever want to use it against a boss like Leoric. Unless Leoric would somehow magically be turned into a chicken, which is essentially what Hex does, I guess. But anyway, he, for all intents and purposes, would be immune to it. So
TRISTRAM Cathedral. The star fell here.
it kind of would suck to have a build with, say, Hex in it, and then come up to a boss and find it to be useless. Now, yes, you could change your skill before battle, but I'm sitting here thinking of level 60 play. If you haven't seen it, watch the video on Nephilim Valor or read the posts on the official forums about Nephilim Valor. It's a stacking buff at 60 that goes away if you change skills. I want to be able to have a build that I'm going to like to play all around and not have to switch in and out at 60 to maximize gold and magic find. And unfortunately, that kind of ability doesn't really work out for those kind of plans. Whoa. Wow, inferior mace 1.8. Okay, I have to check this out. Seriously. Let's see. Default DPS has gone up to 3.05 based on my dexterity. So, let's take a look at this. 2.18. You can do... A weapon can cause negative damage to occur. Well, I don't mean negative damage as in I will heal a monster, but I mean my default unarmed is 3.05. You would think that at any given time I should be dealing 3.05. But let's real fast just take a look at my... I just noticed the guy crawling down the stairs very slowly. He is bound and determined to tell me his story. Poor guy. Honestly, if I would have run away, he would have lived longer. Anyway. I mean, look at this. 2 to 3 damage is my basic punch. And this only does 1 to 2. I can actually do less damage. That honestly makes me laugh. That's that's funny. Well, I guess if you wanted to go into a lower level difficulty and not kill everything in one shot, there's your answer. Alright, let's get rid of it. That was amusing for a moment. Okay, let me make sure my hardest hitting weapon is 3 to 5, 3 to 6, yes. I'll go ahead and mention that now for dual wielding. Make sure your highest damaging weapon, not necessarily your highest DPS weapon, your highest damaging weapon should go on the main hand. Most of your skills, I say most, we really don't know 100% for sure, but a lot of your skills will be based off your main hand weapon damage. Oh yeah, give me my deadly reach back.
That ability is not yet recharged.
My name is Lashing.
So this 3-hit system where I get an ability every 3rd hit is one of the reasons why I like dual wielding with a monk. I haven't experimented too much with using two-handed weapons. Mainly because a lot of my options for two-handed weapons for the monk have not been that great. But I would like to look into that further because two-handed can still be good and can be efficient. And you can hit hard with it. Nightmarish, huh?
It is not ready yet.
Okay, it's 5.6, 6.3. So it is better than my current offhand. It does 4 to 5. Let's compare that. That does 3 to 6. Lower minimum, or higher minimum, lower maximum. More, no, same attacks per second. What brings it up is the higher minimum. Plus to minimum damage is probably one of the best DPS increasers you will run into. That's why plus, it's pretty much what makes plus to damage weapons and items such as rings very effective. For example, at this level, if I were to find a plus 2 to 3 ring, I would probably have to look at the vendor because I don't believe they drop from monsters at this point in the beta. But a ring like that would severely increase my DPS. 6, 6, huh? Here we go again. 4 to 7, 4 to 5. There we go. Offhand it goes. Found some armor with Magic Find. Less armor, but I'll take it. Lots of decent gear. I mean, they're all whites. I know it's not exciting to kind of look and compare white items, but honestly, I don't have a lot to go on here. And a lot of the blues I find, I mean, look at these. Magic Find, Magic Find. I mean, that's all I've really found so far. And Magic Find is not one of those things that I could really compare to you in any meaningful way as far as stats go. Especially since I'm not sacrificing anything for that Magic Find. It's actually a boon to what I've got. What I like to do is I like to theory craft a little bit with what I'm given and assume what can happen down the road. Hey, life regen. I don't necessarily need that. Now there's a trade-off. Do I take Magic Find? Do I take life regen? Right now, not really losing enough health for me to care. Alright, come here, boys. Right over here. Please. Alright, stop feasting. Come over here. Really? This isn't gonna work, huh? Oh! I had a larger radius than I thought it would.
It was Lazarus. Of that I am certain. He alone had the king's ear and whispered dark and evil magics into it, instilling the notion of an imminent attack by Westmarch. Afraid to speak against the Archbishop, the councillors nodded their empty heads in agreement and sent us off to die.
Alright, not very good. Now the items I'm keeping, for anyone that's curious, I'm just keeping everything that's got pretty much a gold sell value of 4. White items are honestly not worth carrying around much. But it's early in the game. I don't have a lot of gold yet.
My strength returns.
I've got 5k now, which seems like a lot, but honestly, you collect gold like candy in this game. Look at that. Alright, so, I was going to say, I definitely urge any of you to send me any questions, really, that you want. I've been answering them on my email, the Shadow Post, when I get a chance. There's some I haven't been able to answer, others I have. And, you know what I might do is, with some interesting questions, I'm considering doing a mail segment, you know? Maybe with a slight editorial thing too, as I, you know, things that kind of cross my mind about it that I don't really want to do a playthrough for, and just show it across with some footage of other games or even Diablo 3. You know, who knows? We'll see if that takes off. I figure something I kind of want to do, but I kind of realized, you know, I took my video commentary style kind of from Force Strategy Gaming, and then this idea, I'm like, you know what? That's pretty much taking from Total Biscuit's whole thing. Well. As long as he doesn't get upset, I suppose, he'll be fine. It's kind of hard to do anything original nowadays, unless you have some insane talent. I don't think me playing games is an insane talent, especially since I'm not pro. Really? Come on. Still hit me. Wasn't very good. Didn't dodge very well. I'm loving these large groups of monsters now. Seriously, I didn't get to play the monk much last time I tried. I got further than this, but I didn't really get a big chance to... Oh, that's 4. I'll take it. Get deep into the game with these larger monster packs, and that was really fun with the Barbarian. I hadn't played the Barbarian since patch 14, got to play him in 16 for this playthrough series, and it was fun. It really was. Tearing apart massive groups of monsters was great. Oh, looks like a little lag rubber banding issue there. Okay, so since I leveled, I got a new skill. For my secondary, I got Tempest Rush. It's 15 spirit plus an additional 10 spirit while channeling. Charge directly through your enemies, knocking them back and hobbling them, slowing their movement speed by 60% for 2 seconds. Also deals 50% weapon damage while running. This is a great mobility ability. You get surrounded, you pop that on. You want to charge through enemies? Well, you normally can't charge through them, so use Tempest Rush. You'll knock them out of the way, you'll be fine. Kind of try and show it off here, since this will be where I cut it off, is after Cain. Well, let's go down here. Try to show it off. You can't normally, as you can see here, I'm trying to walk through them and he has to go around them. But I could always do Tempest Rush. It only does 50% weapon damage when it hits, so as you can see, it's not a great attack ability. But if I wanted to get past them, really useful. It's got that 15 spirit initial cost, which honestly is not a lot. It's about the same as Blinding Flash here. Just a little more.
My injuries are less severe.
Thank you, but why did you risk yourself?
It was time.
And the channeling cost is only 10, so that is about blinding. And when you have a 150 pool of spirit, when you've got it full, that means you can run around for a bit. It's really not meant for offense, except for positioning. It's, as you can tell, 50% weapon damage. And it slows enemies, so it's very much a nice escape mechanism.
We must discuss the fallen star. Follow me to Tristram.
And again, this is one of the abilities that I love so much about the monk. Being able to go into a group of enemies. Look at that spectral staff he swings. Shame I don't actually have a staff. I love using it in combination with Ravenclaw kick, which I'll get later for Lashing tail kick. Just to get into the middle of a group and then just hit them all with a massive AoE and scatter them.
I don't have enough spirit.
I promise, Marco.
Uncle.
Thank
I'm
not much. That he
None.
could- Leah, you should not.
Alright, so what I'm going to do is just go ahead and sell what I don't need real fast.
Bunch of things for you this fine day.
Hold on to that. I have a 7.5 and a 6.6, so I'm going to just focus on DPS for now since they're all just whites, and sell what's got lower DPS. If you want to wonder what I mean about possibly keeping something with lower DPS, I suggest watching, maybe going through some of the other videos. I'm thinking about doing a video segment where I talk about it. Sometimes higher DPS is not always a better solution, and it's kind of complicated to go into that, especially for the end of this video. So alright, I got a 7.9. I can replace that 6.6. It does 5 to 7, which means it does more minimum damage than my main hand, so that's what I'm going to use on my main hand, is the 5 to 7. And this is the 3 to 7, so I'll replace this offhand here for more attack speed. There we go.
I worked my hands to the bone to bring
And a 1 life regeneration belt. That is good. Alright. Let's help Hadrig with his little wife problem, shall we? I always like ending on some wife beating. No, I didn't really mean that. Moving on. It's pixels, don't get mad.
I'm sorry. This must be done.
All right. Go, 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 go. That's kind of fun. I'm just running by holding the left mouse, and I'm just every now and then hitting my shift to attack. It's kind of dynamic. It's kind of the opposite. Instead of clicking to attack, I'm shifting to attack. Makes for some interesting gameplay, actually. Fe Victus! Suffering to the conquered.
You'll find if you see my fool apprentice out there, tell him to get back to town.
And if you know where that's from, you're awesome. Okay, that's it. Part 1. We'll move on I got some decent items here, some experience gear for some future playthroughs, and yet another stronger weapon. I've been getting really lucky with weapons as of late. Okay, so this is part 1. Again, if you have any questions and if you want them to be read on the air, feel free to let me know, or if you don't, let me know. Honestly, I would suggest that too. And I could do those possibly for a segment here or just in a playthrough video. Also, anyone that might have suggestions, since I did my spotlight on tribes, some people seem to like that, to kind of see other things that were out there. I would like to kind of continue that later. Right now I'm in the crunch for the beta, so it may not happen anytime soon. Maybe during the 2-week period between beta and launch. We'll see. Depends on what I want to do here, because I've got other games I kind of want to play and get through before beta, before launch, because launch will consume my time. So we'll see. But hey, if you got any games that you know of, recommend them to me. I especially am looking for anything that might be either cheap or free to play that you might recommend, especially because I'm kind of frugal right now with funds. That's okay. All right. This is patch 18 this time around for the Monk, Diablo 3. Loving the class. Love them all.